Morning, Brian. How are you, my man?
Oh, I'm doing good. I'm here. I'm glad to be here.
You, boy, a lot of attention being paid to this story, right?
Oh, yes.
So you, did you have a history of heart problems or anything?
Nope, no heart problem at all in the family at all. Just most of my life I've had high blood pressure.
All right. How old are you?
41.
All right.
Soon
And
to be 42 in June.
what do you do for a living?
I am a steel hauler. I'm a truck driver.
All right. So you're a truck driver. So tell me what happened. You're feeling okay, or did you have how did this all start?
On February the 5th, I was at a place in Streetsboro, Ohio, unloading. Undid my tarp, started getting a tightness in my chest, and I thought it was my asthma kicking up because of the weather. And then all of a sudden, I helped the guy unload the load, hooking the straps up, and it just kept getting tighter and tighter and hurting, and pulled my truck out. And then I called the wife up and told her I believe I'm having a heart attack. I'm gonna call 911. And
oh wow! Now, did you see? I've wondered if I had some sort of medical emergency in front of someone. Like, did you try and act like nothing was wrong when you're unloading all your stuff? You know, because there's another guy helping you. You don't want to look like a pussy in front of that guy. You know, and you're like, oh yeah, I'm fine. And you get in the truck by yourself. You're like, oh my god, I'm dying. Is that what happened? Is that what you did?
Well, I mentioned to the guy, I said, man, my chest hurts and he just kept on going with his didn't bother him, or he didn't think nothing was wrong. And
yeah,
guys don't care about other guys. So what? Walk it off.
So you get in your truck, you call your wife, and
I pulled my truck out and parked it, and then I called my wife and told her, and then I called 911.
Did she tell you call 911 immediately?
She just said, go ahead, go give them a call.
Yeah,
and then I called them, and
so you call 911 and you say, what, I'm having chest pain?
I'm a truck driver and I'm having a heart attack. I believe I'm having a heart attack.
Wow. And do they come out immediately? The ambulance comes out? Or
They said they dispatched Streetsboro rescue out to me, and then they asked if anybody was out there with me, and I said no, and they called the factory I was at, and they sent people out to be with me, and in a matter of seconds, the ambulance was there. And then they took me to the University Hospital of Beechwood.
So you are you're in the ambulance. You're still. Are you conscious at this point?
I'm conscious the whole way. The ambulance company called me up after it was all over and done, when I was still good, on Thursday after I had the heart attack, and said, we'd like to have the video out of the ambulance for you for we could use it for training. They said, you're the best person that we ever for what went on, because they said I wiped out their whole their medical supply and everything, and the drugs and everything that they
really.
Yes.
So you get to the hospital and you're still, everything's going all right. You're still fine. When did you actually then have, what was it that actually killed you or deprived you of oxygen for 45 minutes or whatever?
Well, I went into VFib, because when I got to the hospital, they actually took me straight to heart cath, and I had a blood clot in right by my aorta valve. They call it the Widowmaker. And that's when he opened it up, and man, the pain just went away. And then I had people come up and visit me Thursday. That's the only day I really don't remember too much, because at Thursday at midnight, it wouldn't been on the Friday morning at midnight, or and then that's when I went into VFib.
VFib, which is
I can't.
It's here. I'll try.
Ventricular fibrillation.
Yep.
Yeah, whatever the hell that means.
Your heart rate it's like a scribble.
Yeah. It just goes crazy.
Yep, your heart is going so fast it ain't doing nothing.
Now you're hooked up to monitors and stuff at this point, so they immediately probably in the nurse's station or somewhere know that something's going wrong.
Yeah, because you have a nurse that stays in the room with you the whole time.
Oh, really?
And then she jumped on top of me and just started CPR. Right.
Do you remember any of this, or did it just you don't even recall any of it?
The only thing I remember is walking towards the light.
Did you, what do you think caused the actual heart attack? Is it the diet? Are you eating fast food all the time? You're not exercising, or what?
Well,
what
a lot of it, is exercise, but I don't eat fast food when I'm on the road.
Yeah,
and that I actually started a diet almost a month before this happened.
Really? And so anyone who's starting a diet, watch out, could kill you.
No, I've just been going through a lot of stress since December the 2nd. My mother-in-law was diagnosed with cancer, and then on January the 27th, she passed away on us.
So she passes away. Your mother-in-law passes away. Probably causes a lot of grief for you and your wife
and kids.
So that is probably added stress, and that could have helped
Yes.
trigger this.
Yes, that's what they were saying too.
So you have this VFib, your heart's going crazy. You don't remember any of that actually happening, but just to give people a background here, Brian was basically you were dead for about 45
Yep,
minutes.
For 45 minutes.
You're not breathing.
Yep.
There's no pulse. There's no heartbeat either,
Nope,
right?
No heartbeat. Nope.
And so what are they doing to you for that 40? What are the doctors doing to you during that 45?
They're doing the CPR on me, doing the chest compression, shocking me, and then giving me all types of different medicines in that to try to bring me back.
And so you say that you saw the light, or you saw what you now believe is the afterlife.
Oh, definitely the afterlife.
Did you, prior to this, and we'll get into it of what you saw, but prior to this, did you believe in the afterlife?
Yes.
You did? Okay.
Oh, yes.
All right. So you're not like a guy who's converted who goes, I don't believe in the afterlife. And then you see this light and you go, oh, wow, yeah, I believe in it now.
I've always believed in it.
Okay. What did you see during this 45-minute period when you
I seen the bright light, and I just started walking towards it, and then, like I said, it opened into a most beautiful path with flowers and stuff, and kept walking along, and then had a lady and man approach me, and the lady grabbed me by the arm and says, "Come on, you don't belong here. It's time for me to take you back." And I looked at her face, and here it was my mother-in-law.
Who had just passed away a month or so, or
No,
not even a month, a week before.
Yep. And she took me back.
And who was the man? You said
it was my father-in-law. He's been gone for 7 years.
Wow. And they say it's not your time.
Not to be here.
Do you have any sense of, as you're walking through this path of light, do you have any sense, were you walking for 10 seconds, for 5 seconds, for 10 minutes? Or
I don't know. It just happened so quick.
Mm-hmm.
And just seeing them, it just makes you feel good that you know you have a guardian angel that is actually sitting over you, watching you at all times.
And to you, this is 100% real. I mean,
Yes.
There's no doubt in your mind that this. Now, some people say that when you have a near-death experience like this, it's your own mind playing tricks on you. It's the lack of oxygen, it's the drugs that they're giving you, or something like that. And as a defense mechanism of actually you know that you're dying, that your brain sort of concocts this, what's the word I'm looking for? I guess like a fantasy almost, as a defense mechanism because it's dying. But
Right.
But you don't believe that.
No, I do not believe that. My gosh, she looked like 20 years ago when I met her. That's how good she looked.
Your
Mother-in-law,
yeah.
mother-in-law and father-in-law, both.
And so to you, there's no doubt in your mind that this was absolutely 100%
Oh,
real.
yes.
The next thing that what do you remember after that? So your mother-in-law grabs you by the arm, starts walking you back the opposite way.
Yep.
And says it's not your time.
Yep. You got things to do at home.
And then what do you recall after that?
The only thing I recall is, as my wife said, there Saturdays when they started bringing me out of the coma, and I still had the ventilator in, and I would look at them and shake my head in that, but Sunday was the day that they took the ventilator out of me, and that's when I told her that I seen her mom.
What had happened? Yeah.
Yeah, what had happened, and I guess
because at that point you probably didn't even know what
happened. Yeah.
Right. And when you tell this to your wife,
she
her reaction, what was it?
Oh, she had to sit down because it just heart struck her so bad and started crying.
But in some ways, she must have been happy that you saw that, right?
Oh, yes. She was very happy for me to see her mom and dad, and at least she knows that they're in a good place and they're happy. They're together. They're back together.
The nurses and the doctors, and Brian Miller is here with us. He was dead for 45 minutes. 1-866-YO-ROVER. That's 1-866-967-6837. The doctors and nurses, they must, did they hear this story? I mean, did when you told this to your wife, did your wife go and tell the doctors what you had said, or did you tell the doctor?
I told the doctors in that because they say when they shocked me for the 4th time and still no heart rate or nothing, no pulse or anything, then all of a sudden I ended up with a rhythm.
And that happened on your own. Yeah, it wasn't like they were shocking you. I mean, he was dead, and then all of a sudden, just his heart just kicks back in, is my understanding, according to these articles.
Yeah.
So it wasn't like they shocked him and shocked him again, and then it started.
Brought him back.
Yeah, I think they were just like, wow, this guy's dead, and then it just kicks back up on its own.
How do you explain that, Rover?
I don't know. Who knows? What did the doctor say after you told him that you? I mean, did you feel a little bit weird telling him about? Yeah, I saw this light. I mean, did you think that they might go, "You're crazy"?
No, I didn't think they would. They just because they said I was a miracle.
Yeah,
a miracle to be back, and especially the rate of they say the successful rate of being out of oxygen that long is only 5% of survival rate, and I have every bit of my memory. I can remember what I did when I was a kid.
And even if, you said 5% survivability for that being without oxygen for that long. And I'll bet that those 5%, those people are probably, have brain damage or something a lot of times, where they don't even remember. Do you think it was the CPR that they just kept giving CPR to at least get something going into you?
Because they don't give you mouth to mouth no more. The biggest thing is to keep the blood moving.
Yeah.
And that's what they were doing, keeping the blood moving with the CPR.
When you tell the doctors that you had seen this light and everything, did they? What was their reaction? Did they say that they'd ever heard that before? Did they seem that they believed you? Or
no, they believed me and all that. I believe they believed me, and they really didn't frown on it or anything. They just listened to my story and all that, and especially the little nurse and all that. She was so excited for me and that.
How has this changed your outlook on life, if it has at all? Have you changed the way you look at life?
Oh, yes, it's changed, and to take and slow myself down and enjoy life and enjoy more time with my family, because I was a hard worker. I worked as much as I could.
Right. And does it give you any more faith that there is an afterlife? I mean, you said you already believe that.
It gives me a lot more faith and all that. I've always believed. I'm not a church going guy, and that I just don't like to sit there and listen to that person cram it down my throat.
Yeah, who would?
Yeah, I've always believed in him. I have a thing in my truck. My mom got me many years when I first started driving truck, and it's a guardian angel, and it says, "Do not drive no faster than your guardian angel can fly." I kiss it every day when I'm in my truck.
See, I'm not a believer personally, and my theory is when you die, you're dead, and that's it for eternity. Now, that will keep you up at night if you believe what I do, because you go, oh my God, when I die, I'm going to be gone forever, and there is no afterlife, and you're done. So do you not fear death now? Like for me, I fear death. I don't want to die, but do you?
No, I don't. I've never feared death. When it's your time to go, it's your time to go, and there's nothing you can do about it.
That's amazing to me. I mean, that's the exact opposite of me. And so your wife obviously is relieved. I'm assuming.
Yes.
Was everything with the wife and everything? Everything was good before that.
Oh yes.
Okay.
Oh yeah.
Because I was wondering.
We've been married for it'll be 19 years in September.
And you have kids?
Yes, I have 3 daughters, 2 16-year-old twins, and a 13-year-old daughter.
Oh, no wonder you had a heart attack. My God, he has 3 daughters. So he has to worry about them, guys trying to hit on him and all that kind of stuff. Man, that will kill a guy, literally. Well, that's a pretty amazing story. I mean, this has gone worldwide.
Yes,
your story
it
has. You've been all over.
I've been on Fox 8's where I first did my interview with them, and then they contacted me for the Kelly Files on Fox News Network out of New York City.
You gonna write a book?
I've had people calling offers, or I haven't talked to them yet. I gotta call and talk to them because they gave me they sent and gave me the numbers and everything for them because they're just not allowed to call me.
This is pretty amazing story though, and you're
yes.
lucky to be alive, whether
Yes.
the whole afterlife thing or not. Yeah, I mean, you are lucky to be alive. That's for sure.
Yes.
Is there anything? What they tell you about? I mean, are you worried now about just walking around having another heart attack, or what did they?
No.
What they tell you?
Actually, right now I'm on a they call it a life vest.
What's that?
It's a vest that I wear. It's got 4 sensors on it, and then plus it's got 3 defibrillator shockers.
Oh, so if your heart stops, that thing could just shock you automatically.
Yep. Or if it goes,
Charlie, come in here, Charlie. Let me test this thing out on you.
No. Well, I can jump start your car for you.
Wow,
it's a monitor. They just keep a track on me in case my heart does go in AFib or any type and that. And ever since after I've come out of the coma and all that and back to life and that, my heart rate hasn't changed one bit.
So how long do you have to wear this thing for?
They're saying almost 30 days.
Let me go to Jared, who is on with Brian Miller, who was dead for 45 minutes. Go ahead, Jared.
Hey, Cleveland hates you.
Hey, thank you.
Hey, Brian, God bless you, brother. I went through a similar situation this past August. I'm a veteran. I dealing with some health issues and went to a hospital to get some pain taken care of. They gave me, prior to this, I didn't know I was allergic to Valium, and they gave me a shot of Valium for the pain, and it caused me to die for 3 minutes. But as far as, like, seeing that light at the end of the tunnel, similar situation. I had my grandmother, my grandfather, and my uncle looking down at me. My grandmother smiled and said, it's not your time yet. And then snap back to, like, kind of like an out-body experience, just hovering above my own body, watching all the doctors, everything prep me for getting hit by a defibrillator. And, like, right when they were saying, everyone clear, we're going to shock them, I remember yelling to myself, wake up, you stupid SOB, do something. You're not dead yet. Blink your eyes, look at your toes, your fingers, something. And I ended up grabbing the bed railing, sitting up, got the oxygen mask hanging off my face and eyes bugging out my head. And I say, hey, it's okay. I'm not dead yet. You don't have to shock me. Wow. And they had doctors there that said they've been doing this for 20-plus years, and they've never seen something like that. But God bless you, brother.
Same to you, too.
Thank you, Jared. Jason, you're on Rover's Morning Glory. Good morning, Jason.
Yo, Rover.
Yo, what's happening, my man?
Hey, listen, I'm glad you're okay, my man, but the truth behind this story is seeing his nurse on the news, anybody would come back to life if she was your nurse. I tell you what, if I had a heart attack right now, I'd love to go to that hospital and have her bring me back.
Why? Was she super hot?
Oh, Rover, listen, your next Rover's Morning Glory calendar girl right there, Ahuja Hospital.
Wow. I go, is she hot? And Brian's over there just nodding his head going, yep. So your nurse was just a knockout,
Oh, yeah,
huh?
she was. She was a sweetie.
Really? Let me go to Mike. You're on Rover's Morning Glory with Brian Miller. Good morning, Mike.
Hey, Rover.
Hey.
I'm a little older than you. I've heard a lot of these stories, and I'm wondering why I've never heard the story of the person who saw the red light and maybe the devil or Satan dancing around with a pitchfork going down at the time.
Well, I haven't heard that story either. I mean,
I have.
You've heard that story?
There's books.
You have.
It's called like 10 Minutes in Hell. A guy died, went to hell for 10 minutes, and came back. Wrote a book on it.
Oh.
So there's definitely stories out there of that.
Well, I don't know.
It makes people turn their lives around.
Well, so are you now going to you're going to do more with your life in this short period of time that you have on the earth is the way that you're looking at it. They tell you anything you can't do? Like, are you able to, you and the old lady able to, get at it?
I haven't said nothing about that yet.
Does that heart monitor just start going crazy when you're beep? Well, be careful.
Yes.
And it's an amazing story. And Brian, I appreciate you coming in here, my man. I think did Safe and Reliable Limos pick him up? Well, good. I'm glad that they. I have to give them a plug. They're great. They always help us out with guests and whatnot. SafeandReliableLimos.com or 440-288-5466. It's an amazing story. I don't know if you've convinced me yet, Brian.
That's all. I'm just out there to talk about, try to help people out that try to make them believe.
Do you think that maybe you said you're not a church-going guy, so you don't like going to church, but have you thought, hey, since this happened to me, maybe I should get out of the trucking job and go around telling my story or trying to help people?
I don't know about that because I'm not a very good reader and a very good writer and stuff, so...
But hey, you have a great story to tell.
I know I have a great story in that, and depends on what more I get more offers towards me and all that. It just got to watch my P's and Q's.
Well, Brian Miller, dead for 45 minutes, saw the light. His mother-in-law says, you have more stuff to do. Get back there. and he snaps out of it. I do have to take a quick break. Brian, thank you for coming in, my man. Let me take a quick break. We'll be right back on Rover's Morning Glory. Hang on.
Rover's Morning Glory.